I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. This is going to be a big show. I feel like lifting up the curtains and looking outside at the blue sky, waving to the sun that's dancing. You know, for those of you that are older, it's kind of like when I don't know if it's Sleeping Beauty or which Disney person is it? Maybe Snow White is like doing the things, and all the birds are singing and helping her do the laundry. You know, that's what I feel like today. For some of you a little younger people, it's the scene in Who Framed Roger Rabbit where all the tunes are dancing and singing at the end, and the sun is bouncing around. That's what I feel like today. For everybody that says all that I do is bitch about local government and state government and national government and world government and all government, just bitch. You haven't seen this show right here, episode 362. Because this show... Well, wait a minute, because I don't want to make myself a liar. I'm going to bitch in this show. But the first part of the show, it's like a miracle has happened. So, right now, let's get all this crap out of the way. Give us a thumbs up, ring our bell, share the show with everyone you know. If you're watching live, comment over there. If you're watching in the future, comment below. If you need to find us on the social medias and all that, click all that crap down below. Pass along your messages and do all of that stuff. That's out of the way now. Number 2, please, this is the share to show. Excuse me, let me rewind that. This is the show to share. Okay? This is the show to share. If you live in Delaware County, someone out there, I forget who always is, I think it's DC Swamp, is always like, who's flashing that on the screen? I think you've been hacked. Bitching is my trademark. It's because I live in Muncie. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It comes naturally. That's what we do here. So, if you live, work, or play in Delaware County, or if you know someone that lives, works, or plays in Delaware County, if you know someone that knows James King, if you know someone that knows Shannon Henry, if you know someone that knows Stephen Brand, if you know somebody that knows Sherry Riggin or any of the council members, any department heads in the county, sheriff's department, the dispatchers, EMS people, please, this is the episode where you need to share to all of those people. Anyone that's not here watching needs to get here, because we need to have a conversation about the Delaware County Commissioners meeting from this morning. Sorry. I got a little tickle because I'm just tickled, you know? So I'm going to show you the thumbnail that I put up for the show. And wait a minute. No, I'm not going to do that. Can you, if I send you a picture, can you put it up? Thank you, please, please, and thank you. Okay, I'm trying to figure out where. Oh, there we are. So, okay, this is the picture, I guess, to use. This one here. I get it down there. Okay, yeah, put that one up if you can. Okay, so first and foremost, the Delaware County Commissioners meeting today. I don't know what I expected at the meeting. I know. So everybody has all these big, high hopes, or some people, thank you, Kate, and some people have these horrible, horrible thoughts like, oh my God, he's a Trumper. He was at January 6th. Oh, he had a beard at one point. Oh my God, guns. Ah, you know? So everybody thought that he was going to come in and, you know, all that. And I knew that had nothing to do with anything. I just, listen, he is the one, he's just one person against two. And I know there are other counties where there's a really good-minded person in, but nothing really gets done. However, Stephen has this way about him, and I'm just really getting to know him a little bit. I don't know him as a human, as a person. We're not like best friends. We don't hang out. So, you know, I'm getting to know him with all of you. And, well, you weren't locked up and thrown in a train car today, Tweety Bird. So that's one day down, many, many, many more to go. We'll see. Text me on your way to the train and tell me you told me so. And if you don't ever get there, I'll tell you I told you so. And we'll see who racks up the more I told you so's first. So, okay. I didn't really know what was going to happen. See, I love that. I really respect you saying that, Tweety Bird, and I really respect that. My phone was blowing up today because people were texting me. I was getting 2 and 3, 4, 5 texts at once from people who were saying, "Oh my God, this is so great. Can you believe this? This is nuts. I cannot believe this is what we've been waiting for." I was like, yeah, dude, listen to me. Dan Ridenauer, take a page out of Brandon's book. Muncie, Stephen Brand. Muncie City Councilors, take a page out of Brand's book. Henry County, Madison County, state government, Braun. Everybody, up and down, take a page from Stephen Brand. Now, we're going to watch some scenes from today because I just have to bask in the glory of how crazy good what happened today was. First and foremost, it's the first day in many, many years that James King was not getting paid by the taxpayers of Delaware County for his role as an elected official. So straight off the bat, that was good. Yeah, Ryan, that's absolutely true. Straight off the bat, King wasn't in Delaware County government, so that's good. All right. Now, the meeting gets started, and one of the big worries that we all had was, were we going to be able to hear this meeting? Was the audio going to be good? Was it going to be crap? What was going to happen? Okay, so let's find out what goes on here.
Commissioner meeting of January 6th. It's now free after. As we stand for the pledge, at your pleasure, I would like us to take a few seconds to remember the late Jimmy Carter and also the folks down in New Orleans. Thank you. Let's stand, please.
Okay. I think she said something good. I would have liked to have heard what she had to say, but it was going, so you really never know. So, wait a minute. Wait. Did they not say the Pledge of Allegiance? What in the world was that? That was weird.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Brand, present. Mr. Henry, here. Mr. Riggin.
Here, present.
All right, so straight off the bat, they get into the vote.
I'd also looked over my notes, like to welcome Commissioner Brand to the.
She looked over her notes?
And it's time for reorganization.
It's like she needed to write a note?
I would like to nominate
Stephen was new?
Ms. Commissioner Henry to be the president for next year.
I'll second.
I was hoping, I'll be honest, I knew he wouldn't do it because he's just not that kind of, he's just not like that. But I was hoping that he was going to pull a Cantz and Brand was going to be like, it's kind of a funny thing, but I just got to do it. I'm going to nominate myself as president. Ooh, I think in a way he's like, well, I'll get to that in a minute. All right. So, Henry's the president. They voted. Henry's the president. And I kind of thought, okay, they're going to switch their seats and Riggin will be the vice president. But no, that's not what happened. So let's get him seated.
Does anyone have any questions? John, would you like to read through those for us, please?
Sure. Henry.
Yes. We'll open up the floor for nominations for vice president.
I'd like to nominate our new Commissioner Brand.
I'll second it.
All right. He's going to be the vice president straight off the bat.
Roll call, please.
Now, right here in this moment in time, I have to believe Brandon must have been like us. He must have not heard them say vice president because shortly after this vote, he just takes over and he basically leads the rest of the meeting and it's magical.
Yes.
Brand.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Now remember, there's no more pay.
That's not why I'm doing it.
Woo! Yes. So Sherry comes in with a little bit of levity. Now remember, there's no more pay. Chuckle, chuckle, ha ha ha. And Brand sits there and does his thing. And then his mind goes, click. That's not why I'm doing it. Oh my God. I was like fawning over him. It was so beautiful. I was like, oh my God, this is the public official I've been looking for.
All right, next we'll go to the annual appointments. Does anyone have any questions? John, would you like to read through those for us, please?
Sure. These are appointments which are an annual in nature. That means their term is for 1 year.
We have the executive appointments, which is the 911 director, Fred Cummings, the executive
Hello,
assistant
Janet.
office manager, Sarah Hodges, county attorney, John Brook, EMA director, John Catino, EMS director, Mike Ashley, highway superintendent, Tommy Humbert, HR director, Pam McCammon, Veteran Affairs Office, Brian.
Yes,
Wilson,
yes.
Inspector Weights and Measures, Eric Stock, Maintenance Superintendent, Steve Foster, County Information Officer, Kyle Johnson, Delaware County Council Finance Committee Representative for Commissioner, Sarah Hodges. We also have the Alcohol Tobacco Commission, which is a one-year appointment. Tom
I see that
Simpson.
there, Teresa.
Delaware County Drainage Board, Sherry Riggin, Joe Hamilton, John Christie, Bill Whitehead, Wayne Bothell. Delaware County Redevelopment Commission, Michelle Batters.
Now, pause.
Stephen Henry.
Pause.
Stephen
Okay.
Brand.
I want you guys to notice something. Now, I don't know that this is true, but I'm gonna figure out a way to do an experiment. Do you all see the microphones that they're using? Okay. When you're speaking into your microphone, a light around the little top here lights up. Do you all see where his microphone is positioned? It's positioned right basically against his laptop. Now, I fully get that these microphones are all wired in, and maybe I'm completely off base here. But I had some kind of weird epiphany come to me right about this point, noticing that his microphone is right there with the screen. Okay. Stumblefoot. I have I love the audio from the 1920s. Are they going to tell us about the boys coming home? Yes. War is over in Europe. Edward R. Murrow, he is not. Looks like he might have eaten Murrow, but Edward, but no. So I think what's happened here with this microphone and with the audio is maybe there is some interference from his computer, which I'm certain has Wi-Fi on because he's not logged in. He's not plugged into anything with the computer. And I'm certain he's got Bluetooth on it. And I'm wondering if his signals from his computer are causing interference with the microphones. That's just a thought, okay? As far as all of the horrible noise, that's just a thought. Now, that was the first thing I said. So I typed something out to them and said, hey, maybe he could move his microphone or the laptop away from right in front of the microphone. That seems to be like an ignorant placement. Okay, but wait till you hear something else here in a minute, which kind of adds to what I'm saying, but I still don't know if it has anything to do with the interference. But let's listen.
Delaware Advancement Corporation, Sherry Riggin. Community Revitalization Economic Enhancement District, or the CREED District, Dan Allen, Stephen Brand, Angie Moyer, Dave Williams, Doug White. East Central Indiana Solid Waste District, Stephen Brand, Shannon Henry. Emergency Communications Board, Shannon Henry. Property Tax Board of Appeal, or commonly known as the PETA BOA, Karen Black and Jason Lipp. You would have a motion to approve all those?
So moved.
I have a second, but I have a question. John, I'd asked for a copy of your contract or whatever is actually on retainer.
Okay.
First out of the gate, I've got a question. I asked for a copy of your contract because, keep in mind, John Brook is one of the people they're going to be voting on keeping. And he asked for a copy of John Brook's contract, but he didn't get it. And maybe Brook just thought, I'm not going to give it to him. It won't matter. And he's like, no, I'm going to still ask you right here publicly. And, so what this did was this made me think, oh, I would also like to look at John Brooks' contract. So I fired off an email requesting that contract.
I will have my office, I thought we'd already sent that, but I'll have to ask Andy where it was, okay?
Thank you very,
I thought we already sent it.
I have not. Yes, actually I did. I said I said. Okay. That's right. Okay. I have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Brand.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes.
Who made that motion? Here.
Okay. The miscellaneous board appointments. John, would you like to go through those?
Sure. These are the appointments that have, for boards and commissions that have a term generally. The Airport Authority, Russell Jones is a current appointee, to be reappointed. Anthony Dowell on the Board of Health. We have a Civic Center Authority Board on the list, but their terms don't expire till July. So I don't know if you want to take those down or you want to wait till July to decide those.
Then later.
The Corrections Board, Lindsay Wilmus as the Adult Probation Officer. Carol Ammon is a citizen member, layperson. Eugene Whitehead, County Council Representative. Terry Reagan is a citizen member, layperson. Citizen member, layperson is Andrew Ramirez. Convention and Tourism Board, Jared Walls. Delaware County Regional Wastewater District, Bill Walters and Ray Maynard. East Central Indiana Planning Council, Shannon Henry. The Fair Board, Dan White, Fred Cummins, Jeff Smoot, Julie Eskew, and John Catino. There is one vacancy on that board that needs to be filled. ICAP, Indiana Community Action Program. That would be
That'll be me.
Stephen Brand, right?
Yep.
Information Technology Board, Stephen Brand. Liberty Regional Wastewater Board, Danielle Castle. Metropolitan Plan Commission, Ricky Sight and Stephen Brand. Board of Zoning Appeals, Leslie Mathewson. And there is a vacancy on the Board of Zoning Appeals that must be a Democrat, since that's one of the few boards that must be politically balanced. So that's still open.
So that's a request for the public. If there's a Democrat interested in serving on the BZA board, please submit a letter.
I
of
love
interest
it.
to the
How
county
he just,
commissioners.
nobody would have done
There's
that
a-
before.
there-
James King wouldn't have said that before. Shannon Henry didn't stand up and speak it out. He was just telling them, figuring, oh, they'll appoint somebody, they'll know somebody, they'll, da, da, da. And Brand's like, no, that's so, Brand is meeting the public where we are. Good for him.
That you cannot serve on any other boards. You can only serve on the BZA. So the BZA is sort of like the judicial.
And he's telling more information. Hell, I don't know that James King would have even known that.
Of the zoning, and they can't be lobbied. That's why you don't want them on any other board. So we're looking for a Democrat for the BZA.
That we accept as presented.
A second.
A motion approved and a second. Roll call, please.
Reagan.
Yes.
Brand.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Thank you, John. Table business, we have the handbook revisions and the ordinance to approve the amendment to the current handbook. I'm guessing we want to keep those tabled since the committee is,
What does Pam want to do?
we'll keep those on the table. We have approval of the minutes, commissioner meeting December 16th, commissioner special meeting December 30th. Those minutes are not completed. I'd entertain a motion to table those.
The auditor, for some reason, aren't still not getting minutes completed. Why are they not getting minutes completed? They should be completed before each next meeting. I talked to someone today that used to do the minutes for that office. And that person said, when we set in the meetings, we were doing the minutes live. The person who's doing that now isn't doing that. Maybe that's why they never get the minutes done. They're always far behind.
Second.
A motion and a second, table the minutes. Roll call, please.
Reagan.
Yes.
Brand.
Yep.
Henry.
Yes. Next, we have, presentations, contracts and agreements for approval. Absolute title for deed sale service, Stephen Brand.
Okay, now I was
So at the last
afraid
commissioner meeting-
maybe that they would start. This would be where maybe Brad Bookout would be coming, where Brad Bookout would be coming into. But this is part, and so now listen to this. This is the contracts, and Stephen actually got put on the agenda for this. He wanted to ask this question. Listen to this question that he asks.
Meeting, and I spoke to Ed before coming to the meeting today, actually just in the hall ahead of time. So there was an agreement given to Absolute Title LLC, and they're out of Madison County, Indiana. We have here in Delaware County, by my Google search, 5 title companies. And
So Delaware County gave a contract to a company out of Madison County, and Stephen Googled how many title companies do we have in Delaware County, and he found that we have 5. So his question is, why did we give this to someone in Delaware or in Madison County? Since we're the Delaware County government, why are we not giving this to in-house? Now, sometimes there could be legitimate reasons for that, but let's find out.
And I had multiple questions from the citizens asking why we didn't source this business in Delaware County. And as I said, I spoke to Ed previously, and Ed has some reasons on why this was done this way.
So when we look back at who did the original, we did 2 different deed sales, and Indiana Title actually did the deed sales last time, and they charged $175 per parcel. That was 6 years ago, back in 2018 and 19. One of the odd things that we ran across, we couldn't find a contract. Kind of raised questions in my eyes, and I'm not the person that really likes to do work the same way we used to do it and keep doing the same thing over and over. Thought to enter into agreement. The statute concerning the cost allowable is $250. And I did some research to see what other title companies charge, and the lowest charge that any title company charges is $250, and they're up as much as $500. So part of the reason we went outside of county also is that there is a title company that actually does bidding and purchases property in our tax sales. That was a concern about ethics and conflict of interest. So these combinations of things that the companies that do a lot of business through our office, because we handle all the transfers and deeds, et cetera, it was suggested we take a look outside the county for options. The other variable that comes into play is the cost. Their costs have increased a lot, not only with personnel, but the cost of the actual fees that they have to pay. For example, recording fees, which were increased by the state. These are the fees that they've increased in our office, transferred titles, deeds, et cetera. So all these things have increased their costs. So the title companies are actually, margins are actually reduced because of all the costs that between the state and inflation, those kind of things have taken place. So that's the reason we looked at approving.
Now, listen,
the contract.
do you hear the pounding, the dunk, 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 dunk? It's John Brook typing. Listen, you can hear John Brook typing almost more so than you can hear Ed talking.
To the commissioners for approval, because we felt the increased cost was in line with what the increased cost to the county would. I've used all the companies. I say all the companies.
I'll take it back.
Things have increased their costs. So
Watch his microphone light.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, the thing's right up against
Yeah.
the back of the laptop. So you push on that button, it's activating the microphone.
Yeah, absolutely.
That particular contract and present to the commissioners for approval.
Yeah.
Because we felt the increased cost.
So while this meeting was going on in real time, I sent a text message, an email to Stephen Brand, and I sent it to all of them. And I just want to read you. Listen to me. I have never ever received an email back from the commissioners. Ever. I've only ever received emails back from, well, I got to be careful. Before the current Delaware County Council, I had only ever received emails back from Ryan Webb and Ryan Ballard. And then Ballard left. Ryan Webb continued to respond. Matt Kantz responds. He's started responding more since I've called him out. And Bill Hughes responds. Okay. Mokel now responds. Jessica's never responded. Whitehead doesn't respond. You know, all that stuff. It'll be interesting to see now that Whitehead is president. Is he going to continue not responding? Is he going to get called out for that? We'll have to see what happens. I don't know. But what's interesting to me is I sent an email to Brand while they were in the meeting, and Brand responds, okay? So the email that I sent, all right, the email that I sent said, interference, FYI, please have Brooke move his laptop from directly in front of his mic. You guys have some horrible distortion in your microphones, and I have noticed that Brooke's laptop is right up against his microphone. When he types, it triggers his mic. When it picks up his pounding on the mic, causing issues hearing people talk. Also, I think his laptop is there so close to the mic that it could be causing some other distortion too. And I received a response back from Steven that said, thank you for the feedback. The commissioners recognize the audio is not the best, and I understand that steps have been taken to improve this. It was discussed today right after the meeting to do more on this topic. I have heard the same concern about council meetings and other meetings in the commissioner's courtroom. Stephen Brand. Holy shit. This guy on his first day, seriously, he's like leading the message meeting. He's getting them to answer questions. I have never heard the commissioners go into this much detail ever. This meeting today with James King on the board or with James King off and just the other two there would have taken 20 minutes. But because Brand was there, it went as long as it needed to make sure that people knew what was going on. Now, David asked who Ed is talking to. I think somebody asked who Ed was talking to. Alva asked who's Ed talking to, and he's talking to the audience. So the audience is out there. You can't really see it, but he's talking to the audience. So I'm okay with that. I think he's doing good. I think he's good there. Hey, honeymoon or not, I'm gonna give him. Listen, this is what you do. You give the ones that are good positive praise every time they do something good, and you smack their face and rub their nose in it when they do something wrong. And that's how I roll. Pavlov's dogs, baby.
No major issues with any of them, except for the fact that Absolute Title had great experience with. They actually found an issue that a local company overlooked. I was trying to refinance. It cost me tens of thousands of dollars.
He's a boomer. Forgive him.
And allow us to use what previous title company used. So in my eyes, they gained a lot of respect. And I felt if they were going to hold me to that level, they would hold the
yes, Kate, I see that thing about Ed.
Level, and therefore that would be the same with those results they read for the taxpayers. So that was just some of several reasons that we made a decision to go with Absolute Title. Now that the detail will be much smaller than normal. I think the first one we did, we had roughly 575 properties. This one's going to be probably less than a couple hundred. Eligible is less like 330 some odd properties, and we're only going to do roughly 200. There's a reason behind that also. Because what we have is a new vendor, of which we just switched to this fall. But that's all right, and they have new employees. We have a new title search company, and we're trying to coordinate all of these departments and contractors along with the judges to make sure we're all on the same page when we're doing this process, because there is a limit to how long we can do these searches, and then there's also stipulation per law for doing the notices. And if we miss those notices, then the money we invest in this tile search work and the work we do on our end goes out the window. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes, a lot of moving parts. I want to let Stephen know and the public know that there is reasons for that, and I know the commissioners quite often, when they have contracts present to them and they receive the bids, they take them under advisement, because there may be things that they know or they find out from the public or whatever the case may be that are variables that caution them to go in and necessarily just look at strictly the lowest bidder. So if you have questions, feel free to reach me in my office, send me an email, but those are just some of the few reasons that we made that decision.
Thank you, Ed. And I do agree that not having a contract in place is not a good way to run our business. So getting a contract in place, I appreciate you doing that. I'm a big live where you work and spend where you live guy. And if we spend a lot of money as commissioners, and if we can source something to a Delaware County business, I think we should try to do that. So, you know, for all the department heads out there, that would be a standard question I'm asking when it comes time to approve.
Listen to
a bid or a
this.
quote is, you know, was there not anyone in Delaware County that could have done this? You know, obviously they have to be competitive, and sometimes that can be a reason, but, you know, I just want everybody to know that Delaware County should be receiving our money, given the chance. Thank you, Ed.
I agree, appreciate it. That was the
I
first
agree
place-
with
That's the first place we
Commissioner
looked.
Brand.
We looked, tried to find the contract. Our original goal is, hey, or can you do the same price? And we couldn't find any contract.
But I do
Golden.
like the idea that this company is going to find something new that maybe, again, Acme Old Days was overlooked. So I thank you for your explanation.
Now listen to how many times Sherry agrees
Next, we
with
have,
Brand.
The 911 center chair lease.
Oh, now listen to this. This is the insane thing. We're talking about chairs, and listen how much this chairs costs the taxpayers of Delaware County. Listen to this.
This is a lease renewal for the chairs that we use in the 911 center. Now, there's some questions that went back in the weekend. But basically, prior to me coming here, there was a huge problem with chairs. We were spending thousands and thousands of dollars on chairs. They'd get broken, they'd get put in the chair graveyard, they just buy more. Harry Ritter found a company that leases 24/7 chairs that we use, and decided to do a lease for 3 years. The lease is up. We don't own the chairs. They trade them out every year. They change cushions. They fix anything that goes wrong.
I think back
What?
when this started, there
Wait,
was a
wait.
wall of chairs.
What's your question?
They don't own their own chairs?
Yeah, they don't own their own chairs. So
You lease cars, you lease houses or, business properties.
yeah.
I've never heard of a chair lease before.
Yeah, right.
How
yeah,
much
yeah.
do these fucking chairs cost?
A
That
pretty,
you need to lease them.
a pretty penny. A pretty penny. A pretty penny. Now listen. Okay, and this is something that
Were they made by Rolls Royce? Handmade, hand-drawn,
remember.
pinstriping?
Yes. Remember, this is what John Sproles wanted down in Henry County: 24-hour chairs. Okay, because they're being set in by dispatchers every minute of every day, 24 hours a day, all day, always. Okay.
You know what? I got a great word for them.
Mm-hmm.
Pillows.
Yeah. Wait till you hear how much these chairs
No,
are.
I'm gonna go because I'm gonna start cussing.
Oh yeah. Wait till you hear hear the cost of these chairs.
It was.
And then
Called it the chair graveyard.
Yeah. So I think this is a good program that Mr. Ritter started.
So this is for the amount of $22,500 to lease how many chairs for 3 years?
10 chairs for 3 years. It's $7,211.16 a year, so it comes out to like 21,852, I think, something like that. That's what I have here.
And I'm gonna ask you the same question that we just got done having a discussion. Did we explore to see if there was anyone in Delaware County that would?
Very
would
did
rent?
do that. There's no other companies that lease these 24/7 chairs in Indiana, for that matter. So that's why we're over the border into Ohio. This is a program that they started a while ago. Thomas Shelby and Gary, through his contacts, found them and decided to do it.
So if someone watching came up with a creative solution and they're local, we have a good way to get out of this contract if we approve it for 3 years.
Listen to this.
I see severability in there. If any provisions of this lease is held, that's not very good grammar, invalid or unforeseeable, the remainder of this lease will not be affected by it. But it basically says that any provisions of the lease, so it'd be pretty difficult to get out of this lease as it's written.
The only way they could get out of the lease is if any part of it is deemed illegal. So like it's a very hard lease to get out of. And of course, Steven's having problems with this. And you hear, like, I can literally hear Steven's brain working while they're in there talking. He's like, I feel like I could solve this problem. Is there not a better way we could solve this problem? Could we not like hook up like bungee cords and let them, like he's trying to figure out how to save Delaware County taxpayers money. Nobody else has ever done that before. They're just like, oh, $22,000 for chair leases for 3 years? Yeah, do it. It's not my money.
John, have you
Pillows.
looked at the lease?
I have. The severability goes to whether a court determines it to be illegal in some fashion. And then the court could what we call in the law blue line or blue pencil out those parts that are illegal and keep the other parts in. I didn't see a way to get around it on the end of the 3-year term.
So I would like to see something added to this that gives us the ability to get out of it on an annual basis. If somebody local had the creative, wherewithal to put something together.
I can reach out to the company. I mean, I don't know if they do that or not.
Okay, so if we don't approve this today, what happens? They're not gonna come get the chairs, right?
The chairs will be gone as of February, yeah.
As of February.
Yeah, we don't own them because that's when our lease comes up.
Okay.
And we'll have to spend a little over $20,000 to buy chairs.
What date, February?
I don't know. Is the date, I don't have the contract.
10 or more.
Commissioner meeting.
Date of lease is February 12th. We'll have at least one more meeting, maybe two. You wanna research that and get back with us?
I'll ask them if they'll put that in there, that's fine.
And John, do you wanna look at this?
Yes.
Take a look at this and see if there's some language. I mean, we could sign it for a year as long as they agree to let us out at some point.
Right, we'll see what the amendment is and what the language they offer is.
Okay.
Or I can offer some language.
10 chairs.
Why don't you offer language and send it to, Mr. Cummings?
I'd like to look at that language with you, John. Okay. So this will be tabled. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, got a motion to table?
Yep.
Do I have a second? I have a second. Roll call, please.
Who's second?
Sherry,
Sherry.
second.
All right. Mr. Graham,
Yes.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Henry.
Yes. Next is, we don't have any ordinances or resolutions, old business, the solar moratorium.
Listen to this.
So I appreciate the commissioners put a moratorium in place 3 months ago, and I want to thank Commissioner Henry specifically for making that not a 3-month moratorium, rather a 6-month moratorium, which gives me a chance to get in and get my feet set and try to add value to this solar ordinance. So it's not that everybody's been sitting on their hands for the last 3 months. There is a what I'll call a citizen advisory committee that's been working, and they've put together this document, which Commissioner Reagan and Commissioner Henry have, and it amends the solar ordinance that's in place today. I believe Eileen Swackhammer probably also has a copy of this. Is that right, Eileen? Thank you. So It largely returns to the spirit of the intent of the ordinance that was put in place by the 9-person committee when the commissioners had an original 1-year moratorium in place. It does make things a little more strict than that, increases some of the setbacks. It puts a property value guarantee in place. There may be some good neighbor language that would be considered. So I just wanted to provide a quick update for those watching that it's not like nothing's been done for the last 3 months. And we have until, I believe, the end of March, isn't that right? March 1st, thank you. So we have until the beginning of March. So we have 2 months to work on this. So what will happen next is the commissioners will take this under advisement that came from the Citizen Advisory Committee and decide if this is something we would like for the Planning Commission to consider. We would have to have a public meeting, right? We'd have to have a public hearing, submit it to the Planning Commission. They would have to make a recommendation, come back to the commissioners for final adoption. I believe that's how the process, is that correct?
What happens is the commissioners make a vote to then refer something to the Plan Commission. The Plan Commission then considers that, they conduct the public hearing, or in essence, the first reading on the ordinance. Then they make a recommendation back to the commissioners to either adopt, modify, or reject it. And then the commissioners will have the final say-so of it. So what happens is commissioners would take a look at the proposal, send it back to the Plan Commission as their request to make an amendment to the zoning ordinance. The Plan Commission then reviews it, sets it for a public hearing, conducts the public hearing, finalizes whatever comes out of the public hearing, sends it back to the commissioners for their review.
Perfect. So I know that Commissioner Henry's going to take and print off the existing zoning ordinance and compare it, as will I. I believe Sherry will do the same thing. I do want to say
She's
that
in
the
La La
SNAP
Land. She doesn't know what's
renewables
going on.
That is coming into Wharton. They've been pretty proactive. They've held a number of events. This Center for Energy Education, they had a public official event, and then they had 2 community events. I attended all 3 of those, and I listened and asked questions. I've talked to people that are
Of course he did.
for the solar. I've talked to people that are against the solar. I've talked to people that own property that don't live here. So this isn't just the farmers, right? There are a few farmers, but there are a
Quit
lot of folks
typing.
that don't even live in our community, that own property here, that have signed their ground up. So pretty emotional topic, but I consider it to be one of the larger topics that we're going to have to face this year, along with a few others that we can talk about at another time. But I just want to provide an update.
This
on
dude
that.
is a maniac.
Commissioner Henry or Commissioner Reagan, if you have anything to add.
No, I agree.
Well said.
I like read through the new requirements and just want to go back through them some more. Okay. Thanks for those. Yep. Next, department heads or elected officials. All right, you guys received your weights and measures December report.
I did, and
Questions?
I do have some questions. So,
Of course he
Eric,
does.
if you could come up.
I love it.
This is the first time I've ever seen this report, so I'm asking questions to educate myself and possibly the public. Can you walk us through this report? Like, you have a vehicle that you did the weights and measures on.
Now
the
listen,
scales, one correct and
I've
one
listened to
incorrect. What do
this,
you mean
and
on a
it's
vehicle
good
weights and
topic. If you guys, we're not. I'm gonna. We've got a lot of meeting to get through, so I'm gonna jump through this. But I'm gonna tell you, Brand is doing what a public official should be doing. Now, is he going to do this every meeting when this guy from Weights and Measures comes up or what? No, but this is his first meeting. He knows a lot of this stuff. He's getting familiarized. He's coming in and getting to know the lay of the land and finding out, like, it's like the scene in Office Space when they sit down and they're like, what do you do here? This is what he's doing, and trying to get an adequate kind of look at what's going on. Okay. I've got an email, and I'm not going to say where the email came from, but Kate, remind me, I'm not going to read it until closer to the end of the Henry County or the Delaware County segment, but remind me that I have an email that I need to cover. Okay. But we're gonna jump on from here. He basically runs the weights and measures guy through a couple of different questions about, like, you know, there was a weird question about like the weight of cheese or something like that at like one of the grocery stores, and so he asks a lot of pertinent questions and finds out Stephen is doing the job of an elected official. We haven't seen an elected official to Stephen's this quality of elected official in a long time. I mean, maybe ever. I'm hoping that people will take some pages from his book and he will start rubbing off on these people.
What we're doing is, no, we do not.
Who does those, do you know? Devices, gasoline, kerosene, diesel test. You tested 59, but there were 7 rejected. Can you talk about the rejections on the 7?
The rejections would be if they were outside of tolerance.
He's asking really good questions.
The only package was 7 ounces of cheese.
So listen,
that was a situation that wasn't Meyer's fault, it was Kraft's. But when they had shifted, so all over the Meyer network of whoever got that Kraft cheese was being shorted.
This dude found out that Kraft was shorting.
It can be anything.
The department stores and then thus us, the consumers. And this guy here in Delaware County found this out because he's doing his job. And we just found out about that because Brand is doing his job. What the hell? That's amazing. Brand is amazing.
Checked 266 packages of firewood. 23 of them had a discrepancy. So for the public,
Talking about firewood,
the Weights and Measures Department checked 1,730, conducted 1,730 inspections since the last meeting. So this is
we go the 16th of the month through the 15th of the next month.
Okay, so this is for a month. You did 1,730 in a month.
that's crazy.
Thank you for the explanation. That helps.
Eric, don't want to put you on the spot, but once you had tell about your convention that you were able to bring Delaware County.
The Indian Association of Weights and Measures contacted me to see about if I would mind bringing them.
Yeah, this is
Totals
awesome.
to actually do every claim would be.
Okay, now this is big. Listen to this. This is big.
Sir, appreciate it. Appreciate all your hard work.
This is one of the biggest things that happened out of this meeting today, in my opinion. Listen to what they're talking about and listen to what Brand brings up and listen to the response and then listen to what Brand says. It's just a masterpiece.
And your help. She skipped today.
We have to approve that.
We haven't.
Yeah, I gotta pause this. I was hoping that I was gonna see Tim. I was hoping Tim was gonna pop on here. Tim, dude, this is gold. I don't know how many times somebody texted me that today, or I text somebody that. I was in the middle of texting you during the meeting, and my phone was actually getting so many texts from somebody at one point that it froze up, and I had to turn it off, power it down, and then power it back on, and I had forgot by the time I powered it back on. But my phone was blowing up because he's not even running the meeting. It's Shannon's meeting, but Brand is just going in and doing his thing. And man, I am here for it. Every commissioner's meeting from now on out, I like, look, it's Brand, and he's not being like an ass about it. This is what he's supposed to be doing. These people have been used to having 10-minute meetings, 20-minute meetings, and there's nothing wrong for the amount of money that these guys are getting and gals are getting paid to have an hour-long meeting. You know, that's beneficial. So I am definitely on board for the Brand. Listen, and I'm not going to like everything he does. I'm going to take issue with something that he does, and I'm going to call him out for this or that. But I understand when those things happen that we'll be able to talk And I feel confident in the ability that we might not always agree, but we will be able to communicate about it. And that is what I respect about this man.
$725.75.
So they're talking about the claims.
Again, this is my first time ever looking at the claims, and they weren't, Commissioner Henry did help me a little bit this morning. So, are these posted online? Or we don't post?
I can tell you, we could probably do totals. To actually do every claim would be nearly impossible.
Well, to do every claim would be nearly impossible. Now, I don't know if she thinks that it's like still 1940 or what, but the city of Muncie puts every claim, not nearly, because if it was nearly every claim, I'd freak out, because nearly every claim would mean they would be hiding something. They put on every claim weekly in the city of Muncie. Matter of fact, like Kate said, it's a spreadsheet. When we got done with this meeting today, I actually text Sherry and I said, I want to clarify what you said. Did you tell the public that it would be nearly impossible to put on every claim? I said, because if you did, I want to direct your attention to this website. I said, this is the website of the city of Muncie. And I sent it to her. I said, this is how you get to the controller's page. And then I said, just in case you don't want to actually click on the link, I'm sending you screenshots. Here's where the city of Muncie uploads every claim every week. And I want to tell you, the city of Muncie has more claims than Delaware County does. This is what transparency is, folks. This is what transparency is. Okay? Now, I'm going to come back to that transparency word here in a minute, but I'm going to show you something. So all you people, Tim, I understand you said you're going to rewatch tomorrow. Stick around here at least for a few more minutes, because I want you to hear something here in just 1 second, because I want to make sure as many people hear this, just to remind everybody what we're working with here and what Steven's up against and why it's so good that Steven is so good. Because listen to this.
I don't agree that it's impossible.
I don't agree that it's impossible. I mean, dude, like, isn't that what you want to listen? What do you want working for you? What do you want in an elected official? Do you want an elected official that here's the very first thought without any kind of talking or back and forth? Here's a simple thought. Well, could we put these online for the public to see? That would be nearly impossible. Or do you want the elected official who says, I don't agree that it's impossible? You know, like, let's be real here, you know, just hands down. Like I say, let's get rid of all the commissioners and make Brand the mayor of the county. I'm down with that. Hell, let's get rid of Ridenhour and make Brand the mayor of Muncie. I'm down with that too.
Scan these and put them on there as a PDF file. That's not impossible. And people want to see what we're spending our money on. I would like to see the claims posted, and I'll work with whoever I need to work with to try to get these claims posted online. My second question is, there's a check date column, and all of these are from December. So have these checks been cut and sent?
Checks are until you approve it.
Okay, thank you. And then, do we have a resolution in place? Let's say today's a good example. We had inclement weather. We might not have been able to make it today, and I understand approving the claims is time-bound, and it's important. So were we not able to meet today, is there a resolution in place that allows the auditor's office to pay the electric bill and the credit, you know, the essential stuff, right? I understand the TIF and, you know, some of those other things could wait, but do we have a resolution like that?
There is I believe it's
We have an ordinance?
That was passed allowing the auditor's office to pay all central utilities. Electric, gas.
Okay. Could you share that with me?
Yeah.
I'd appreciate it. Thanks.
There's also a statute which allows the commissioners and any public body to
Yeah.
pay certain bills without formal approval first of
Yeah.
the claims, including all utilities, payroll, insurance,
Credit
bonds, credit cards, that sort of thing. And once you adopt the ordinance, then those will be paid automatically, subject to approval.
Okay. So, yeah, I spent about 2 hours yesterday looking through these. You know, I'd also like to see, there's a description column here. And I would say, as a general statement, there aren't any descriptions. For the most part, I mean, there's one here, edit project 12. But there are a lot of claims that we have on here where there are not very many descriptions. It looks like the treasurer's office does a good job. The assessor's office does a good job of putting descriptions in there, but I would like to see more descriptions. So my question for the auditor, are you getting those descriptions from the department heads?
Well, if we did, it'd be on there.
Okay, so you understand what he's asking the auditor. He's trying to find out who is at fault for not putting these descriptions on there. Is it the individual departments that's putting them on there and the auditor's office is leaving them off? Or is it the individual department heads are not giving the descriptions and the auditor's office doesn't ask for them and they just run them for what they are? And so you heard what Ed said there. Now, I don't always take what Ed says, you know, to the bank because it's Ed Carroll, so you never know. But he said, if we got descriptions, we put them on there. So Ed is making it seem like all these places are not putting in descriptions. Then this happens.
Okay, so you're not getting them from the department heads. Okay, so yeah.
They're probably not getting descriptions because we attach the invoices, the receipts, whatever it is.
Oh, dude, like seriously, like I know today was a cold day. It was cold. She probably thought like the county should close or something. You know, she gets paid lots of money for doing her job, you know, because the judges basically threatened the council into paying her lots and lots and lots of money. She's getting paid too much money to have the attitude that she has. What's with the attitude, Emily? He wasn't even you weren't being addressed. They were to sit down and let the adults in the room talk. He was talking to the auditor's office. Listen to this person's attitude. Emily just comes up here, boom, bang, pow. I've got an attitude straight out of the gate. Always, you know, Ryan Webb asked me questions and I can tell you're going to be just like Ryan Webb asking questions and I already don't like it.
That's how we were taught to do it. See attached. We put the.
Oh, that's how we were taught to do it. Well, I think that Brand is going to teach you all a lot of things. And I think one of those golden rules is going to be just because that's the way it's always been doesn't mean that's the way it's going to stay. You know, keep that in mind.
Receipt with it. So it's got the explanation in the receipt.
So she takes the time to type see attached instead of saying uniforms.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Computers.
I don't blame her for explaining the process. I blame her for her constant attitude. Constantly.
I blame her for being dumb.
Well, yeah, in a lot of cases.
Why would you just type C attached and assume that they're going to look at the receipt? That you're making more work for the auditor's office.
Yeah, right.
By making them go through the receipt and saying, "Hey, these are for this."
Yeah, it wouldn't.
It doesn't take any time at all.
Yeah. Right.
Just put a description in.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I don't know who this is. Lauru 50L. Yeah. The way that his desk is set up, I love it. I love me a good desk setup.
We turn in the claim with the receipt, which explains what we're spending it on.
Okay. So the process works. I'm trying to understand the process here. I'm learning. So thank you for bearing with me for a second. The way our process works, there's a budget, you get approved to spend money. You don't have to come back for a second approval to spend money. You just spend your money And once the invoice comes in, somebody verifies that invoice. Somebody signs off on that invoice, verifies that the services are received as advertised, whether there's a service report for HVAC or whatever it is. That invoice is signed, given to the auditor's office. And then the auditor's office puts it in this format.
Assuming it meets certain criteria. Things like if they have the appropriate pay line, those kind of things. Because if not, we reject it. That goes back to them, correct. So we'll typically put a note in the system, to correct their right? Then they resubmit it, once it's presented, goes there.
So are you doing like a three-way match to make sure that the quote matches the invoice, matches the payment?
I honestly don't know the check.
Okay. Gotcha. I mean, we should, right? We should be verifying that their quote matches the invoice and that it matches the payment. Okay. Do you, either of you have an objection to posting these online if we can come up with a,
But come up with a solution.
yeah,
You could do it, but there are a lot of overtime.
absolutely. Yeah, I just hate for somebody to have to do a FOIA request to get a
Yeah.
copy of the claims. Why can't
APRA,
we
Steve,
post it
APRA.
online? So I will work, I'll
Are
take
you,
that.
you talking about the actual claim or the sheet?
I would say that this claims register voucher, right? So.
Which looks just like the city of Muncie. I mean,
This stack that you guys see in my hand right here, this is for everything. This is for the payment of claims, the ARP claims.
But that's not
And the
the
full settlement.
invoices. That's just
It's
the-
not invoices.
Those are just-
It's just
right,
the
right,
registered claims.
right. So what you do is you put the claims on there so Kristopher Bilbrey can see them, so Kate can get on there and see them, so Dave Williams can see them, so John Doe can go and look. And then if there's a question based off that, then that's what I submit the APRA request, the records request for, and I pull the invoice based off of that. So what Steven is wanting to do is perfectly reasonable and logical, and he's not asking any of you to do any extra work. He's saying he's willing to take it on. Just shut up and say okay.
You know, could
Some
use
of them might be a check that someone needed, $50. Yeah, no, that's no problem putting those claims on there.
I'll work on
Then
that.
Ed, the public, if they find something and then want to come to your office to actually look at the invoice, how that procedure works.
Got to determine the process to get this up on the web first.
We would have to determine the process. This is, dude, these people, I'm so happy Steven's around because this stuff is nonsensical. What she said was stupid. What he said was stupid. And I'm not being, I mean, I know there's a nicer way to say it. I'm just cutting through the nicer. That's stupid. Yeah, it's the same thing as the city of Muncie. If I look and I find something that I have a question with, Dustin Clark gets paid $7,000 again in December. You know what I do? I shoot off an email to the city of Muncie and say, hey, I've got a record request. I've got this claim. I've got this check number. I've got this vendor number, and it's for this amount, and I want this invoice, and I send it, and they go through the process. In Delaware County, I would send that to John Brook, and then he would send it off to auditor's office, and they would get me that file. It's very easy. If I wanted to go in person, I won't say I was just up there. And I was like, I'm going to stop up at Ed's office and, check. All right. Maybe Ed could just pull it out and let me see it there. Probably he's not going to do that. I'd probably have to turn it in. He would give it to John Brook. John Brook would look at it, say, yeah, pull it. They would pull it and they would let me know it's ready. It's that simple. You guys don't need to make this as hard as you're making it.
I've got some ideas, done this at other entities. Okay, so just a couple of the explanations for some of these claims, just high level stuff. There's health insurance and utilities, jury duty, right? We paid out $6,075 in jury duty, another $274 in jury duty. These are the types of claims that we're looking at.
I love it.
See a couple of other things I wanted to explain. Actually, I have a question. So there's a local public health services, Open Door Health Services Incorporated, $40,000, and IU Health Ball Memorial Hospital, $145,000. So we're paying the local public health services $185,000 in
Part
this
of that
plan alone.
money grant
Yeah, thanks.
that we
So while Shannon's looking at that, there's a wheel surtax, $177,000.
I believe
Dave.
these two were the Delaware County Health Department, and Jamie's not here, but, both of them have, I believe.
Yeah, GW, the details
So
matter.
we're paying out of that health first.
Oh,
Indiana grant.
I wondered if that was
There's
you.
There's a
Dave.
call today at 11 o'clock,
Okay.
by the way, for that Health First Indiana grant. If any of the other elected officials want to be on that call. It's 11 a.m. Yep, I'll forward you the invite that I got. I actually asked Jamie too, if he was going to be on it, I would just join him in his office. I did not see a response from him yet, but
Dude.
yeah,
I
that,
do want to get clarification. You don't want the actual receipt, the invoice claim, you just want claim report. What we're approving, so are you requesting that the department put in the details and the descriptions? Because otherwise we're going to get a lot of questions on what this means.
Yeah, put the descriptions in.
yeah, we need description. People are going to want to know what it is. So I'll work
People
with
are
the
going to
entire
want to know.
supply
Listen to
chain here
him
to
meeting
try
the
to
public
get this
where
thing,
we are.
I
Already on
learned
day
something
one.
when I was reviewing the claims yesterday. We have what's called a financial income tax, a FIT, where we, apparently, the financial institutions, and I just briefly studied this yesterday, if 80% of the financial institution's gross income is derived from activities, I believe, within the county, they have to pay a financial institution tax. And just for this claim alone, that's $540,612.15. And it goes to the township trustees, Delaware Community Schools, the airport authority, the Albany clerk, I'm just skipping through here, the town of Gaston, Yorktown, Washington Township. It's received by the treasurer and distributed by the auditor. So these financial institutions, this is new for me, are getting taxed, and it's going to
The township.
For the settlement.
it is. Okay. So that was new for me. too.
So did you second that motion?
I did.
We have a motion and a second to pay the payment of claims. Roll call, please.
Brand.
Yeah.
Brand.
Oh, God.
Mr. Henry.
Yes. All right, now we have the payment of ARP claims, $1,016,291.17.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve the ARP claims in a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Reagan.
Yes.
Brand.
Yep.
Henry.
Yes.
Can I explain some stuff here real quick on the ARP claim?
You're good.
Okay, thanks. So in the last commissioner meeting, this was handed out by the auditor to the commissioners. And I just wanted to remind folks that the commissioners received $22,169,385 in ARP claims. And this summary defines what those have been planned, projected for. Like mental health, the rehab, so this is the mental health facility, $6,164,563.02. That's one of the larger ones. Rorton Relief Sewer.
Wait, I'm going to go back there real
$1.5
quick and get that total.
million. County buildings, $22,160,000.
You're good.
Okay, thanks. So in the last commissioner meeting, this was handed out by the auditor to the commissioners. And I just wanted to remind folks that the commissioners received $22,169,385 in ARP claims. And this summary defines what those have been planned, projected for. Like mental health, the rehab, so this is the mental health facility, $6,164,563.02. That's one of the larger ones. Rorton Relief Sewer, $1.5 million. County buildings, $1,207,356.54. I'm assuming that's for some sort of maintenance and repairs or some things that need done. Administrative fees, I'm going to dig into this one a little bit. $1,411,641.05. County stormwater, so this is Delaware Regional Wastewater District, $1,188,450.96. And at the last commissioner meeting, I believe you guys parked $3.4 million in the revenue recovery fund. Revenue replacement fund, and that brings that fund to $4,930,020.67. So that money is not earmarked for a project
Correct.
yet. Correct? Okay. Thank you for
And
allowing
we
me.
could post that on there. That'd be very beneficial. Put it where they can read it.
It's small.
I believe that is also, as part of the art plan, we incorporated at December 30th, and that's supposed to be on the website. If not, then it's getting there.
Thanks.
Who puts that on the website?
Yeah, yeah. Filed it.
Do you have this? Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Next, we have, payment of false settlement, $36,352,868.22. And these are payments that are made to small towns and
All the units,
all the other units.
library,
Yeah.
Any taxing unit, right?
any tech. I move.
Second.
We have a motion to pay the false settlement and a second. Roll call, please.
Brand.
Yep.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Henry.
Yes. Next, we have payment of payroll for 12/18 of 2024 is $1,059,963.20.
So I'll make a motion to approve because I want people to get paid. And there's one thing in my experience that you don't mess with is people's pay, but I will say that I did not see any detail for this. So I don't know if we would normally see the detail behind the payroll.
We don't normally know. Don't see the detail.
Okay.
A second.
We have a motion and a second.
In his
Roll call,
mind, he's
please.
thinking, okay, but that's something I would like to see. So I might not say that this meeting, but I'm going to say it at some point in the future.
Brand.
Yep.
Henry.
Yes.
I would like to see the detail behind that.
I didn't even know that he did that. I didn't. I must have skipped that earlier. Good Lord.
Detail of payroll, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we didn't have anyone sign up, correct? All right, I will entertain a motion for recess. Next commissioner meeting will be Tuesday, January 21st.
Henry's trying to get the hell out of there. He's trying to get out of there. Look, there's 5 more minutes. Brand is not nearly done talking.
At 9 a.m.
Can I make a couple of comments?
Go ahead.
Thanks. So we have
Yeah, but why not?
13 jobs posted outside the commissioner's office for the public's awareness. I don't know how many times people get upstairs to the 3rd floor to look, but there are 13 jobs posted.
13 jobs.
A couple things I've been working on since January 1st. I've requested a comprehensive inventory of our vehicle assets. With that in mind, there are a couple of goals there. Number one is to make sure that every county-owned vehicle is properly marked, not just with a number. It should have the county seal on it or somehow, some way say that it is owned by Delaware County. This includes take-home vehicles. I'm also asking for the information on who has a take-home vehicle, and we'll take a look at that and see if there's a real good reason for people to have take-home vehicles.
Whoa. Sounds like Mike Jones' car's getting ready to come back. I don't even know if Mike Jones is still alive or still part of the county. I've not heard from him. I don't know anything about him. Maybe King packed him up and took him home. Dude. Me too. I just got a text, and I'm not going to say who, but I love it. I love seeing this. I think that this is amazing, and I hope. Here's the hope of hopes that Brand's his robot-like level need to do right and the ability to just get in and punch through it and do what needs to be done and be transparent. I hope that it rubs off on people. And if people don't pick up on it, I hope they get the hell out of the way or they're going to get ran over, because there are, and I'm just telling you, there are people out here that are just like Brand. Brand is like a freak of nature. Let's just say this right now, okay? Brand is a freak of nature. He's kind of like a political Rain Man. Like this dude is on it, okay? So maybe he's like the one end of the bell curve, but there are people out here that have the same desire, and they are coming. So I'm telling everybody out there that wants to be a part of this, if you're doing wrong, all you got to do is wake up tomorrow and start doing right. That's all you got to do. If you've been a lazy ass elected official, if you've been an official like I've been talking about Jessica Piper here lately, that loves feeling important and loves the power and loves the prestige of it, but you hate the public service aspect of it, then just wake up tomorrow and start getting into the public service aspect of it, and things will go better. Because if not, you're going to be rolled over. We're going to roll you right over, and things are going to get fixed one way or another. It'll go kicking and screaming, but you are going to go.
And Jim Fluke put employee kiosk in place. I was pretty shocked when I came in and I did my new hire paperwork. I sat down and filled out papers manually.
Listen to what he's talking about.
And then somebody has to take that information, attempt to read my writing, which is pretty poor, and try to get it entered properly in another system. So we should be sitting at a kiosk and the employee should be entering that data, so we don't have to risk data entry errors, which I think we experience on a regular basis, is data entry errors.
Jesus.
I'm taking a look at the 32.5-hour work week. There are a number of employees, and I don't have a real clear reason or explanation of why we do this, other than it was done way back in the day because there were some budget constraints and there was some sort of an agreement between the council and the commissioners to save money and go to 32.5 hours. So that needs reviewed. We'll take a look at that. I will say that as a result of the salary study that was done by the council, it changed the Fair Labor Standard Act classification, the FLSA classification, for some people to exempt and non-exempt back and forth. If you're an exempt employee, the 32.5-hour rule doesn't apply to you. You are now a salary exempt employee, and there's no such thing as a 32.5-hour rule for a salary exempt employee. So anybody that's on that 32.5 or was previously, now you're exempt, that rule doesn't apply to you anymore. I'm going to create an employee of the year or an employee of the month program here at the county building. I'm not going to take my privileged parking space. I'm going to give that to one of the employees in the building.
I like it. He's not even what he's saying right now. He's like, it doesn't even include these jokers. And I'm not saying he's being rude. Steven is just, they can't say anything about that. They have no saying that. He's like, hey, I'm not going to take my parking space, and I'm going to say there's an employee of the month here. And, for the month that you're that employee, you get a parking spot right up by the door. I will say, I think it's a little laughable that our elected officials have parking spots right up by the door. Maybe you guys ought to park farther out. In my dad's business, my dad didn't park closest to the door. My dad parked the furthest away so the customers could park closest to the door. You know what I mean? You let your public park closest to the door, and not like you drive your car up to your chair. That's ridiculous. But I like what Steve's doing here. Steven, I need to figure out what I'm going to call him. I can't call him Brand because it gets too much like Brandon, and I normally like last names, and I don't like Steve. I guess I'm just going to have to call him Steven.
I like to walk. I like to get a little bit of exercise, so I'm going to park across the street. Also, I'm going to hand out to the other.
Was that a bit of a dig to Mr. Henry?
Maybe, maybe. Now, here is where it comes. Right here. Watch this.
House Bill 1381.
First of all, this is important.
And for whatever reason, it looks like Delaware County did not opt into this. On that third page, commissioners, there's a map, and you'll see that Delaware County's white. And this House bill looks to me like, as I read through it, it's the state's way of trying to overrule the home rule and local authority as it relates to ordinances, and specifically solar in this case. So
yes,
along with the solar ordinance that we're going to look at,
yep.
I'd like you guys to take a look at this and see if this is something that we might want to oppose House Bill 13.
Oh, yes, we do.
And we also would have the opportunity to write a letter of support in local control, but I would prefer that we completely oppose House Bill 1381. So you guys can take a look at that.
John, I don't remember receiving that, do you?
No. Is it one in the current session?
Yes. Well, it started in 21. John,
now watch this. Watch this. This is, here it comes.
I'm going to come down and hand you a copy.
Yeah.
He's going to come down and hand John a copy.
AI.
Now, look at this. Look at this. Look at this picture. Is my favorite picture of all time. It was only made better. Steven. Yeah. Steven. That's what I'm saying. I've got to, so look at this. Look here. This was only made better by Steven making it back down and showing his paper. Here's the picture I got. It looks like this right here, which is just absolutely amazing. Here we've got Steven showing the public the document, and we've got Shannon with his head in his hand. And I know she's not asleep, but it just looks like she's doing whatever she does. This is an amazing picture. Yes, Tweety Bird, that is exactly correct. He is showing what a poor job many commissioners have done for years, and counselors and hell, the people in Muncie and the people in Madison County. I mean, he is an example to be held up. But this is a good picture. It is the best picture ever, absolutely. But I want people to be reminded of something. And this is very important, okay? And so what I want you guys to be reminded of is this. The man sitting there with his head in his hands, okay? Mr. Commissioner, Cowboy Kid Commissioner Shannon Henry, just 2 years ago, okay? Let's see, September 2022, 23, 24, little over, okay, so a little over two and a half years ago, Commissioner Shannon Henry had the following to say.
Good morning, Commissioners. Scott Alexander, County Council President. Last Tuesday, the County Council requested that I come to you and talk to you about paying for audio and video of the budget hearings. And that's what I'm here to do today. I've talked to, I guess, all three of you over the last week or so, and I know you've expressed some concerns. I've expressed some concerns too as well. So I was tasked by council to request that you guys would fund that. So that's why I'm here today.
Well, personally, I've thought about it, and personally, I don't. It seems like every time it was brought up in your meeting, and it seems like it gets brought up by council a lot, but to be transparent. I'm sick of that being transparent stuff. I mean, I agree.
Let's just in case we didn't hear it again. I hear it. I want to listen to it again.
So it seems like every time it was brought up in your meeting, and it seems like it gets brought up by council a lot, but to be transparent. I'm sick of that being transparent stuff. I mean, I'm sick of that being transparent stuff. I'm sick of that being transparent stuff. I mean, I'm sick of that being transparent stuff. I'm sick of that being transparent stuff. I mean, I agree.
So, I just want to make sure that people are aware that, a little over 2 years later, the man who's sick of that transparent stuff is sitting here at the end of the meeting with his head down, head in his hands, and Steven's still going strong. I mean, hell, let's absolutely, Tim. That is exactly correct, sir. That is absolutely correct. And yeah, transparency sucks when you hide stuff. It's difficult. It's very hard. And let me tell you what he was griping about. And we won't take all the time to go backwards. What he was griping about was there were a large grouping of people that were wanting the council and the commissioners to live stream the budget process. and they didn't want to live stream the budget process. They were saying, no, people can come here and participate in the budget process. The budget process is days of 12 and 13-hour meetings. It's hard. People can't go and sit there for 13 hours. Are you kidding me? They have work to do. So you record it and you let them watch what they want to watch, but they didn't want to do that. And that's what they were mad about that. They were mad that people were demanding that. And they didn't like that citizens were getting up. It gets even worse. King goes on and talks about people bitching and moaning. And he talks about how little, I mean, listen, you want to talk about why King is not where he's at. Sometime you ought to go listen. If you want to listen to that meeting, just go to the Delaware County page on YouTube and look up the Delaware County Council meeting from September 6th, 2022, and jump to 39 minutes. 39 minutes and go to the Delaware County Commissioners page, YouTube page, Delaware County Government YouTube page, and go to the Delaware County Commissioners meeting from January 6th, 2022, and you get to hear all of the crazy stuff they say there. And it fits this picture. It's absolutely beautiful. And so, you know, I just wanted to put that kind of up there as a kind of a juxtaposition against Stephen here, who is just absolutely killing it. He went in and was just doing a fabulous job. Stephen killed it today.
They can give us the rules on siding and setbacks and things like that. You've heard some of the folks come to the podium that are pro-solar and talk about being a solar-ready community and that there's funding available for it. That's not true. There is not funding. They didn't fund it. And I seriously doubt they're going to fund it this time. This is going to be a really tight budget season at the state, and I don't think there's going to be any extra money. So thank you for letting me articulate a couple
Sherry, do
things.
you have anything?
He's not done.
All right, motion to recess.
So moved.
I have a question. Why do we
And this is always on everybody's mind. And listen to what he says. So the question is, why do the commissioners recess versus why don't they vote to adjourn? Okay. And so he asks the question, and listen to the answer he gets.
recess instead of adjourn?
Because we're always on the job 24/7.
Because we're always on the job 24/7. All elected officials are always on the job 24/7. And I mean, you know, you would think by the way she gave that answer, she's jumping out of airplanes and performing CPR and coming to your house and putting your fire out in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? No, you still don't do a meeting without putting notice up, a 48-hour notice. You can't have just a impromptu emergency meeting where no one knows unless there's actually some kind of emergent situation like, you know, a tornado or an earthquake or, you know, something insane happening, you know. So the answers they give him, and the Shannon Henry's like, dude, are you serious? I just want to go home.
Right, the Board of Commissioners can meet any time as long as they give the appropriate notice. And so
What is that John Brook just said? The commissioners can meet at any time, ... as long as they give the appropriate 48-hour notice. Well, no, so they can't meet any time. The Muncie City Council can meet any time as long as they give the appropriate 48-hour notice. The Delaware County Council, the Albany Town Council, the Winchester City Council, the state Indiana General Assembly can meet as long as they give proper notification. So that doesn't make any difference. It's just, they just are different. They just do different things. And then they come up, instead of just saying, well, that's just the way we do it or whatever, they're making it sound more convoluted than it needs to be. It's just nonsense.
the Board of Commissioners, as opposed to some of the other boards, is in recess by statute and by operation.
Meeting. Then this leaves it open so we can meet, just, we have to post it properly.
And as much as we
Notice. I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Brand.
Yep.
Reagan.
Yeah.
Ms. Henry.
Yes. On recess.
Good job, Mr. Brand. What a killer first meeting, sir. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I just what a badass. What an amazing first meeting. And listen, for everybody that's like scared of him because ooga booga guns and January 6th and all that stuff, just slow your roll with that. And just observe him. And all I'm asking everyone is to just give him the opportunity. I'm telling you, you're not always going to agree with him politically. I guarantee it. But you're going to be hard pressed to disagree with the way that he conducts himself in the job. That's what I'm saying. Stephen killed it. Absolutely killed it. And so that's just totally badass. It was a good day, and I'm happy for the way it turned out. I'm happy that it seemed like it. You know, that shouldn't have got underneath the skin of his fellow commissioners, but I think it did. The reason I was a little harsh on Emily is because I know for a fact, because I heard Emily get shitty with Ryan and get shitty in the background, even not saying stuff to Ryan's face when Ryan would ask questions. And so I know that her sitting there and listening to Brand do that, I know she's thinking, oh my God, I thought we were done with this. And now she finds out Brand is probably even worse than Ryan with that, which is better in the long run. It's better for the normal people. And so that's probably a little bit of what her attitude was about, because she did not like questions. I don't understand that. That's weird to me, you know. That's what their job is. That's what they have to do. You know, everyone's so used to them not doing it for so long that they're like, everyone's okay with how they do that. So it's crazy. But I'm happy with how that went on. I'm just happy with how that went on. Okay, now before we leave, I'm going to close that out on Delaware County. That's the end of Delaware County. That meeting, A+. He did an A+. Cannot wait to watch where we go from here. That was fantastic, and I think things are going to be looking up in Delaware County. I think that he will now make Kantz better on the council, and that's exactly why that thing with Kantz happened last week. They did not want to put Kantz in the driver's seat of the council because they did not want them to be able to work together. But little did they know, they can still work together. They can still make things better in Delaware County. All right. Before we wrap up, and we're not going to go long into this, I just want to show you a couple points of interest from the Muncie City Council meeting. Basically, the meeting was pretty, really from all of the business of the meeting, the voting on all of the ordinances and everything was just standard. And I'm going to tell you, there were just talking about ordinances and resolutions, not talking about the board appointments, okay? So not talking about board appointments, just talking about ordinances. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There were 10 different options. 9 of them voted on went 9-0. One of them was 5-4. One of them was 5-4. All the rest of the 9 were 9-0. So it was very boring. Everything, you know, it is what it is. Okay, so the Muncie City Council meeting got started with, first off, they had a tax abatement committee report, which a tax abatement committee, which was not recorded. And the committee's made up of Nora Powell, Rose Selvey, and William McIntosh. And those three heard from this longtime business in Delaware County. And then at 6:45, the public hearing started. And we're going to fast forward through those because basically nothing happened. All right. It was nothing. Okay. I do want to say, though, however, the very last one, this gentleman stood up and was very much in opposition to the annexations that the city of Muncie has been trying to do, and was very much against it. I think they've got an attorney, and it seems like they're very well put together. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens from here. I'll talk about this more here in a minute, but okay, we want to go on to the
representing the Farmington Neighborhood Association through its ad hoc committee on annexation. I'm joined here this evening by other members of the committee, some of whom you know: Robert Donati, David Hinkle, Kirsten Smith, and I hope he gets a chance to be here, Ronald Collins, who's a longstanding board member of the Farmington Neighborhood Association board. Also with us this evening is Gary Wangler, who's the president of the Farmington Neighborhood Association. The purpose of my remarks this evening is twofold. First, to register an objection to the proposed annexation of the portion of Farmington subdivision, your ordinance 29-34. And secondly, to request a retraction or a defeat of that ordinance proposition as it affects the Farmington subdivision. There's some background to this that you're likely familiar with. Subsequent to the city deciding to annex these properties, there were certified mail notifications of the annexation proposition sent to most of the residents, affected property owners in Farmington, not all, and I'll speak to that in just a few minutes. After that, there were informational meetings, very good informational meetings that went into the details of the annexation and how it affected our neighborhood. And then there was a general membership meeting of the Farmington Neighborhood Association. And at that meeting, it was recommended that the Neighborhood Association establish a committee to conduct a poll of those affected property owners subject to the annexation. And that's when the ad hoc committee on annexation was established, and we proceeded to conduct that poll with the following pretty simple methodology. First, we sent two informational letters to all 59 affected property owners, and subsequent to that, we followed up with one informational email based upon some of the questions that arose from those two letters that we sent. Beyond that, there were many conversations among neighbors wondering about various aspects of this, and the committee itself received a lot of questions. And then we conducted some home visits, simply trying to meet with people to find out what they felt about the annexation. And the results of that poll were crystal clear. The majority of the affected property owners in the Farmington subdivision are against the annexation. The count to date is 40 affected property owners out of 59 against the annexation.
That's pretty big.
And as we
look at this. Who's this in the background here? Well, hey, that's Stephen Brand. How weird.
And this meets the 65% threshold to void the annexation proposition per section 11.1 of the Indiana Code.
He was asking the council to not go ahead with the annexation, is basically what he's doing.
And concerns?
On this ordinance. Bow our heads for a word of prayer.
All right, so then we get the meeting started. I want you guys to listen.
Good evening, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out to our January 6th City Council meeting. Can we all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
So they stand and do the pledge.
Can you lead us? Jeff, can you lead us?
Okay.
The pledge allegiance to the flag.
Her family has been in Muncie for.
We ask, Lord,
He
you
asked
guide our
Jeff to
thoughts.
do the
Help us, your
invocation.
Heavenly Father, to make this.
Is most likely familiar with Moth Danner's
Nora
work.
comes down and does
Moth
the
is a
person
Muncie
of
native.
the month
Her
with
family
Moth
has
Danner.
been in Muncie for 9 generations, but also to inspire community. And she's done just that. She's the leader of Muncie's local Stitch and Bitch group, which is a fabric arts group that gathers once a month.
Stitch and Bitch.
She founded Couplets, a local poetry group that meets.
Okay.
Yes.
So here we go. Here's the
Yes.
vote. Here's the vote on the president.
Here.
Present. Okay, we're going to move into reorganization. Do I hear a motion for president of the Muncie City Council?
I'd like to nominate Harold Mason.
Second.
Is there any other? Roll call, please.
I'll
Yes.
save you the time. Guess what? It was 9-all Mason. So I was right. My source was right. Okay. Mason was voted in as president. Now
Why
listen to
remove
this.
Okay, first off, I'd like to thank this council for putting their trust in me. I pray that I'll be able to live up to whatever expectations they have of me. And we'll get through this thing. So we're gonna bring this meeting to order.
So we've now brought the meeting to order for the second time because Jerry had done that already, but we brought it to order for the second time. And then listen.
I'd like to call the meeting to order of the Muncie Common Council.
He's now doing it for a third time.
We do the pledge again?
No.
He wants to do the pledge again. Yeah, we should have done the pledge. We should have done the pledge and the invocation. And maybe we could have talked him off that. Like, what? Was he joking? I need to know if he was joking. I don't think he was joking because Nora's like, no. Like, look, first of all, I like Harold May. I don't, whatever, okay? Like, why is Nora sweeping in to tell him what's going on? Why is she just not president?
Okay, we're gonna move on to vice president. Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to nominate Brandon Garrett as our vice president.
Oh, looky there, Brandon Garrett.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded that Brandon Garrett.
I'll save you the trouble. Guess who made it?
Be nominated.
Brandon is the vice president. Again,
Take your papers.
looks like Mr. Bilbrey was right. What happens here?
Okay.
To the neighborhood.
Now, I'll be honest. I didn't see this one coming.
Okay. The floor is now open for nominations for reading secretary.
I'd like to nominate Billy Mack, please.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been.
Billy Mack. Like, are we seriously not going to say Counselor McIntosh?
Been made and seconded that Billy McIntosh be nominated for reading secretary. Are there any other nominations? Okay, roll call.
Okay, Billy McIntosh is the reading secretary.
Okay, we'll move into ordinances previously introduced.
1 second.
Approval minutes.
May I?
Yes.
Appointment to the boards.
Okay.
Does he not have an agenda?
I just gave him a copy of your email, Mr. Gibson.
Why? What email? What email? Whoa. What email? And see, now I've got to request this email to find out what's happening. Nora gave the new president a copy of Dan Gibson's email. What email? Oh, an email of the list of people, probably the list of the boards, which, okay, that's fine. But you know what? They should have been on the agenda. They weren't on the agenda. We should put shit like that on the agenda. But I want you to listen to this.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion for approval of minutes.
So moved.
For last month's meeting. Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Green, seconded by Councilman Brandon. All in favor?
Aye.
Or do we do a roll call vote? No, okay. All in favor.
Appointment to the boards.
Okay, appointments to boards and committees. Public appointments. Did the reading secretary read that?
Oh, my bad.
We can.
What did I do with them? Hold on.
911.
I got it. Council officers, the council, yeah, we already did.
I mean, I don't understand what's happening.
Who? Emergency. Council member appoints to the boards and commissions. The appointed person is required to be a member of City Council, Emergency Communications 911 Board. 1 year term. Current appointment is Harold Mason.
Okay, Bill, let me stop.
Huh?
No, we do the legal counsel first.
You can do that. You already started on boards and commissions, so you can do that after.
Okay.
Miss,
So where you go? Go ahead. Read them all?
No, just start
No,
with the
just-
911.
Yeah.
Open nominations.
Nomination for.
It's
Are there any
chaos.
recommendations for the 911 board?
Mr. President, I would like to nominate Harold Mason, please.
I'll second.
Okay,
Okay.
the motion's been made that Harold Mason.
Harold
be
Mason.
Nominated, seconded by.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Industrial Revolving Loan Fund.
And here's the revolving
1 year
loan
term.
fund.
Current appointment is William McIntosh.
William McIntosh.
Roll call, sorry.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
here's the biggie.
Yes.
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 The Riverfront Project Review Committee, 3-year
Here's
term.
the Riverfront Review Project Committee. Remember, this is the committee that is made up of a 5-member panel, and that panel currently, as we sit here while this meeting was going, was Rose Selvey, Lou Coulter, Lorraine Tomlin, Mike Martin, and Hans Heitzelman. Hans Heitzelman is the significant other of Nora Powell. A couple weeks back, about 3 or 4 weeks ago, Nora started making the rounds stating that she wanted to pull Nora off this board. Excuse me, she wanted to pull Roe off this board, and she wanted to go on in Roe's place. And I've said from the very get-go, she should not be on that board with her significant other. And I want to be very clear. This is not a conflict of interest. This does not meet the qualifications or the criteria to be what would be considered a conflict of interest. It is not a conflict of interest, but it just smells like shit. Don't look good. It's not good. It doesn't have a good taste to it. It does not seem proper. And it makes people question why and what's going on here. Why would they need this? This just doesn't look good. It doesn't feel good. It's that thing where it's like, if you have a way around this, and there's lots of ways around this, do one of those ways around this. This is one of those things that should not be happening. And then it dawned on me, wait a minute, Nora can be on this board. Pull Hans Heitzelman off the board. Because Hans Heitzelman was put on as a council appointment. Well, so Karen, a conflict, legally, a conflict is if you're in a position where you are like, have the say, or you're deciding like what happens with a person who like is your direct, like a spouse, who you're making, who their money is determined, you know, off you. So like it would be like a husband, wife, mother, father, brother, sister, son, daughter type of familial relationship. And it would have to be like, you know, the police. That's not a good title. That's not a good thing. It would be like they wouldn't want you to, like you being the building commissioner and your chief deputy to be your husband. That's not a good thing. They you know, you don't want that. You don't want to be in a position where you're in charge of, you know, someone in that relationship. You don't want to be in charge of their discipline or them getting raises and things like that. So this isn't that. This is just them sitting on a board together. It just doesn't seem right. It doesn't look good. Okay. For example, oh, and I forgot about that. I'll have to come back to book out. We'll talk about book out tomorrow. Damn it. I knew I should have wrote myself a note. I forgot about that email. Oh, well. Yeah, I like book out. Anyway, so this is not technically a conflict of interest. It just does not look good. So I said, pull Hans off the council, off that committee, and then Nora and Roe could have been on it together. Let's watch what happens here. And if I'm not mistaken, there were several people that said they were going to vote for Roe.
Current appointment is Roselli.
Okay, I understand the motion for
Riverfront.
I'd like to reappoint Roselli.
Okay.
I'd like to appoint.
Second. Okay. Motion's been made by Mr. Green, seconded by Councilman Basham. Any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Nora Powell for the Riverfront Board.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made that Nora Powell be nominated to the Riverfront Board, seconded. Motion made by Mr. Garrett, seconded by Mr. McIntosh. Are there any other nominations? Okay, roll call.
Which one first?
Yeah.
You gotta say which one you're voting for.
For roll call for Ms. Selvey.
Just go through each person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's tell them. Yeah.
Who you voting for?
You'll have to do president last.
Yeah.
I rescind that. Mr. Green.
Sylvie.
Sylvie.
Okay. Mr. Garrett.
Mr. Powell.
Nora.
Selfie.
Selvey.
Ms. Powell.
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 Selvey.
Selvey.
Powell.
Powell.
Councilwoman Powell.
Powell.
President Mason.
Powell.
Powell.
6 for Powell, 3 for Selvey.
I gotta read all of these.
So Powell just won, and then the reading secretary just said, I have to read all of these. Maybe he shouldn't be, and I'm not being mean. He just seems like he didn't want, maybe he shouldn't be the reading secretary because he said, I have to read all of these.
Mr. Gisper, do I need to finish reading all of these or just
Yeah, just go through each one.
each one? Okay.
Okay, public appointments.
These are the non-council members.
Right. Okay. Public appointments. The appointed person is not required to be a member of City Council. Edit Building Corporation Board. Republican appointment for a 2-year term. Current appointment is Troy Ingram.
Okay, so then basically from here, the rest of these they appointed. Everybody that's currently on it, they appointed, and everything went basically the way that I thought that it would. It was pretty it was pretty standard. I didn't think there was much to what was going on. Okay, that was not that big a deal. On the ethics appointment. No, someone just texted me and said, how many people do they appoint to that board? They have a couple council appointments, but they currently only have one up this year. So only one of them should have been on because the rest of them is still going. It has term limits, and this was the 1-year term limit. Someone else asked me about who was going on with the ethics, and the ethics board. They appointed for the ethics board. They appointed not Chip Taylor, but they appointed the teacher, the old teacher. I forget what her name is.
All of these or just
Basham.
This person.
Hey.
Hello, Sandra Whitaker. My experience
They elected Sandra Whitaker to the ethics board. So that's what they did there. Now, I'm going to tell you, after that, they cut into the rest of the meeting.
To where it's at now. So thank you both. You both deserve a round of applause. You do it very politely. Sometimes when we've done it a couple times, you do it very politely and very.
Chapter 77, parking regulations of the Muncie Code of Ordinance.
Is there a motion for approval of ordinance 3824?
The rest of the meeting conducted itself pretty normally. There were a lot of flubs. It was the first night. I get it. My question is it going to be this way in the 9th month, the 10th month? All of these people have been on now for a year. They should all feel pretty confident at what they're doing. I just am going to have a real problem if this council is going to be such a farce that we've got 3 guys up here. We've got Mason, Garrett, and McIntosh, and Nora is going to be running the show. All night long, they were sitting there whispering to each other. That's got to stop. The whispering has to stop. We got to find out what's going on with the emails. Are your emails working? Your emails not working? There are a lot of things going on that we just need to find out why they're doing the things that they are doing. I was not as happy as I was for the Delaware County Commissioner meeting. The Muncie City Council meeting really bothered me. I just was bothered by a lot of different reasons. Nothing special happened. One of the big things that I had an issue with, let me see where this was. One of the things that I had, oh yes, let me tell you, before they got into, yeah, let me tell you where that is. Let me let you hear this. Okay. Listen to this.
Okay. We're going to move on to committee reports.
This is committee reports. Now listen to this, everybody.
Mr. President?
Yes.
The tax abatement committee met prior to our numerous public hearings to discuss
talks like
ordinance,
this, and
I think it's 2-25.
Good evening, Rob Kiesling, External Affairs Manager with Indiana Michigan Power. Thank you, Councilwoman Powell, for your invitation, and Happy New Year to all of you.
Ordinance 3824.
Committee met prior to.
Mr. President.
All right, here we go.
Mr. President, I'd like to report too that we're waiting on signatures, but the firefighters and the Fraternal Order of Police have come to an agreement. They have voted in the affirmative, and we will have details very shortly.
Okay, good deal.
That's huge.
Yeah, thank you.
That's a happy new year.
That's
Isn't it?
huge. It's a happy new year.
Mr. President, it's not normally.
Meanwhile, where is AFSCME at? Why has no one said anything about AFSCME? None of these council members appear to give a damn about AFSCME. Why are we not hearing anyone bitching about AFSCME? Where's their contract negotiation? So they now currently don't have a contract for 2024. Now they don't have a contract for 2025. What is happening with that? Nobody said anything about it all night. Not Jerry, not Rowe, not Gullion, not Garrett, not Mason, not Mack, Billy Mack, not Nora, not Basham, not Jeff Green. And listen to me, listen everybody. I'm going to go through and I'm going to say these people's names. Counselors, listen up. Jeff Green, Republican counselor for District 1. Nora Powell, Democrat counselor for District 2. Brandon Garrett, Democrat counselor for District 3. Sarah Gullion, Democrat counselor for District 4. Sarah Gullion. All right. Jerry Dishman, Democrat counselor for District 5. Harold Mason, Democrat counselor for District 6. Rose Selvey, Dale Basham is the at-large #1 Republican counselor. Rose Selvey is the at-large #2 Republican counselor. And then William McIntosh is the at-large 3 counselor. For some unknown reason, nearly everybody on the council tonight, all night long, and then people from the audience were for some unknown reason calling Sarah Gullion Gillian. And she never spoke up and told them that her name's not Gillian. I don't understand that. For the love of God, it's like these people are afraid to talk to each other. why would you just sit and let someone say stupid shit over and over and over and over and over? Hey, sorry, my name's Gullion. No big deal. Just want to let you know. Okay. These people just seem like none of them are fit, man. It's crazy to me. The city, I think it's just one of those cases that Delaware County is looking so good right now that the city just looks so bad. I think that's the case. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. There's not much else that went. The rest of the city council meeting was blah. It was a large 9-0 fest. That's all that happened. It is what it is. Nothing about AFSCME. It is. You can't expect to have more than one government body that has good meetings. Yeah, right. The commissioner should have been okay with Brand on there. So the Muncie CC has to be. That's exactly right. Absolutely. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. I just now got your message there, Kate. That's going to do it for us. Hey, I've got information about Book Out, and we should have some records tomorrow. So tomorrow we're going to have a good show. Can't wait for the show tomorrow. Tonight was a good show. Thank you all very much. Hey, before you see yourselves out, please give us the thumbs up, click the bell, share the show with everyone you know, help spread the word. You know what to do. We love you all very, very, very much. Have a great evening. Have an even better Tuesday. We've got meetings tomorrow, meetings Wednesday. It's going to be a busy week. So you guys have a good one. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time, 9 p.m. Eastern, every night right here, Sunday through Thursday. You know how we do. Take care. God bless. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.